Today we're going to be talking about, how do I say this, fragrances, just to scratch the surface of how you could be polluting your home and causing your family to have toxic reactions to what you have in your home. This is a topic that unfortunately doesn't get talked about too broadly with our society because, I mean, we're trained, we're told that things are safe because they've passed, three-letter agencies inspections and ingredient lists and whatnot. But the problem with that is people do not do their research. And it's very scary to think about that for the fact, hey Carol, welcome. It's very scary to think about the fact that we are so trusting in our government and with their regulations and want to believe what they allow, what they approve is going to be safe for us, which is absolutely not the case. That's why it's extremely important to do your research as much as you can. And I'm a green personality as well as a red. And so my green personality, if you're a green, you know how this works. You're wanting all the details, you're wanting all the research. I was a meteorology major, so I got this science background in my head, and I'm like, I want to know the nitty-gritty stuff because it's really, really important. So I'm on here to educate you because we see too many sick people. We have a very sick society, and we're not looking back at what we have in our homes that could be causing that, okay? And I've had people come to me and have all of these issues that are going on with their body or with their kids that are suffering from a lot of respiratory issues. And what we have to think about is not addressing the symptom, okay, but addressing the cause of it. This is the holistic approach to it, and this is the side I take because we've been doing the treating the symptom side with our society for years, and it hasn't been working because guess what? People are still getting sick, and they're getting more and more sick. So as I'm going through this, I want you to think about people that may have, whether it's you, whether it's your family and friends that have a lot of these issues going on with their family, and simply educating you to educate them, because we all want people to feel better. And if it's just a scary thought, okay? So talking about fragrance today, that's it, because fragrance is one of the top 5 pollutants in our homes. Let that sink in for a moment. Fragrance is one of the top 5 pollutants in our homes. And I'm not even addressing cleaning products. I'm not addressing anything else but fragrance and scents, okay? And, all right, so I'm just gonna read from an article, a couple different ones. Synthetic fragrances may be the most common type of chemical in your home. Air fresheners, plug-in type deodorizers, and scented candles can emit hundreds of harmful chemicals known to be carcinogens, respiratory and endocrine disruptors, and reproductive toxicants, even at low levels. Let that sink in. In 2014, a Scientific American reported that a study in the journal Environmental Health Perspectives shows a strong link between exposures to phthalates, chemicals that are found in air fresheners and oftentimes plastics, during pregnancy and the child's future risk of asthma. Yikes. Yikes, okay? So before I started looking into essential oils and understanding what those benefits could bring to me, which, like I said, I do my research because that's the most important thing that you can do for yourself before you buy a product. Before I did all of that, before I got into essential oils, I was using scented candles in my massage practice. I liked the smell. I had no idea the difference. And so I was like, ooh, this smells good. But what I was noticing over time was that my respiratory system, my lungs, my throat, they would become restricted. My allergies were actually becoming more inflamed, I felt. So are you having those issues? And just one company that I came across with their articles, and you hear one thing from the company, but you need to look outside the box from that. The company may tell you something that sounds good, that maybe they're not telling you the whole story, but we really need to do our research. This particular company says that their wax are a secret combination used to create a pool of melted wax which is transformed into a wickless candle bar. They use a food-grade petroleum waxed bar base. Can you trust a company who does not want to disclose their ingredients to you? Paraffin wax, which is a petroleum byproduct, is created during the process of refining crude oil into gasoline, When heated, paraffin wax releases the toxins acetaldehyde, I can't even say that, formaldehyde, toluene, benzene, and acrolein into the air, all of which have been proven to increase your risk for cancer. 1 in 3 people in our lifetime will be diagnosed with cancer. Why do you think that is? Burning several paraffin wax candles at one time exceeds the Environmental Protection Agency's standard for indoor pollution. Another thing to consider is that though you are avoiding the soot by not burning the candles, the toxic chemicals that are in the wax can still be released into the air that you breathe from heating the wax, in the same way that the fragrance oils are released into the air for you to smell. Yes, thank you, Marlisa. Glad you're watching, because it's extremely important. It is a epidemic that we need to tackle, because if 1 in 3 people are going to be diagnosed with cancer in our lifetime, no, I'm sorry, that statistic is wrong. I said it wrong. 1 in 2 people will be diagnosed with cancer in our lifetime. 1 in 3 will die from it. That's the statistics currently standing. Okay? The dangers of artificial fragrances. The other mysterious ingredients in the wax melts are fragrance oils used. What are the fragrances made out of? Fragrances scare me. I'm reading from the article as well, so we're on the same page. For most, because you really have no idea what you're getting when you see the list on any label, when you see fragrance listed on any label. A long time ago, this term was created so that companies could protect their secret formulas for their specific scent creations. So just like, like the food industry, there's companies out there that can put together a secret ingredient list. Oh, there's one big name drink. Can you think of what it starts with a C? One big name. It's so popular all around the world. They have a secret ingredient list, but they won't tell you what it is because the government doesn't require it. So same thing with the fragrance industry. So you probably are using a concoction of chemical whatnots in this wax or in whatever plugins or whatever sprays that you could be using in your home, and you have no idea what is in those, what's in that scent, what makes it up. Yeah, the problem is that you never know what kind of chemical concoction they've come up with to create the scent. The Environmental Working Group's 2004 analysis of potentially sensitizing ingredients in cosmetics show that approximately half of all products examined list the word fragrance on the label. Fragrances are considered to be one of the top 5 known allergens. So if you're somebody or know somebody who's suffering from a lot of allergic issues, think about what's going on in the home. What are they around when they go back home or even at the office? Because you see these things everywhere. Plug-ins, sprays, wax candle warmers, all of that falls into the same category. I hate to say it. Even though there's companies that say, oh, our wax is good and natural, it may be a good wax, guys, but where is the fragrance coming from? Because there's a lot of names out there of fragrances that you don't even know. Like, that's not from a plant. If you know the nitty-gritty of how things are extracted from plants to make a scent, you understand that there's a lot of chemicals used. And to cut corners, to make a greater profit, companies cut corners to get the cheapest stuff that they can get so that they can make a greater profit. You understand? They also noted that certain types of asthma attacks are specifically triggered by and only by cosmetic fragrances. Fragrance oils can contain all sorts of combinations of amines, ethers, ketones, lactones, terpenes, and most often contain benzene and aldehydes, all of which have been linked to cancer, birth defects, central nervous system disorders, neurological disorders, and allergic reactions. So you could, if you are somebody who loves to use wax candles, great, use them. But here's the thing, you have to make sure that it's healthy for you. So you can actually get a good wax, like beeswax. Just, you have to go through a reliable source. I wouldn't trust companies out there, but you have to trust certain ones, do your research on those. And there's wax candle companies that have melting things on them that are sold maybe by your friends and family. Look at the ingredients, guys. They're not good for you. They're not good for you. And you know, I see where it comes down to time and research. That's all it comes down to. But if you really loved wax candles, I'm not a fan of them anymore because they're drying. But if you really wanted to go that route, you can get a wax pure beeswax bar thing and put a drop of essential oil in here. But the thing is, remember this, essential oils, pure, 100% pure essential oils, the authentic ones, you know what I'm talking about, those should not be heated up because they take away the therapeutic benefit of the oil. That's why we have cold air mist diffusers. So if you're looking for things that help to clean the air in your home, help to scent bars cover your air. But if you're wanting to actually clean the air and deionize the air, which is a health benefit for you, you want to use 100% pure essential oils from Young Living, because this goes back into the whole cosmetic thing where the government doesn't regulate. And if you see my stuff before, you understand that. But you can take those, put it in a cool air mist diffuser, and boom, you're taken care of. Like, you're getting the benefit of the oil in more ways than just one. And then you might notice that your family's feeling a lot better because you stopped using all that other toxic stuff that you thought. And guys, I'm not yelling at you at all. I'm just educating. But it's a very big issue among our society. And I just feel angry for the fact that the government doesn't do more about this issue. But you know what? They make more money off of sick people than they do off of healthy people. Okay? So sad. But this is why I'm here, because I really want to educate people on why you need to get this stuff out of your home. And that's just with fragrances, but fragrances everywhere. Fragrance can be in your laundry detergent. Fragrance can be in your soap detergent. It can be anywhere. And if you're using it to help to freshen the air, the smell of the air, and you're experiencing a lot of respiratory issues, experiencing really bad headaches, just really not how you were before. Look, I mean, you may have been exposed to chemicals for a long time and may not even notice a difference. But when you start to clean your body out and get away from using toxic ingredients, and then you go down, say, the close to the fragrance aisle, the cleaning aisle at the grocery store, if you're like me, you start getting a headache. Because once you clean all that stuff out of your environment, then your body's very sensitive to those toxic smells and ingredients. But that's your body saying, that is not good for me, get away. But when your body's been bombarded with toxins for years, like, you may not notice it at first, but you may be experiencing a lot of health issues on top of that. And that is your body's response to all of those environmental toxins that you've been exposed to. So please do your research on fragrances and really look at the entire picture and not just what companies say or promote, because it's a dangerous thing, and you really need to understand how this epidemic has impacted so many people. And you know, like I said, 1 in 2 people will have cancer in our lifetimes and 1 in 3 will die from it. It starts with what we're using in our home. So, if you have any questions, please feel free to message me, but gosh, just looking at some of the flavors, the scents out there that are promoted, it's like, what plant creates that, you know?